Brought to you by Tailored Wealth, helping business leaders live their version of a rich life.
Welcome to another edition of the Making Sense of Your Money podcast, where we cut through the financial noise and help business leaders to make smart, confident money decisions. Welcome to episode number 14 of the Making Sense of Your Money podcast. I'm your host, Dan Pascone. I am the founder and CEO of Tailored Wealth. And as always, each episode features a trusted voice in the financial world, someone who works directly with high-level professionals to simplify the complex and turn strategy into action. And today I'm excited to introduce a special guest. I've got with me Patrick Kempf, who is a managing partner at Kempf Meierhöfer, and they run a growing accounting practice and CPA firm in Germany. So I think Patrick is actually our first international guest. So thanks so much for joining me on the Making Sense of Your Money podcast. Good to have you today, Patrick.
You're welcome, Dan. Thanks a lot. And great honor to be your first international guest on your podcast.
Yeah, that's just fun. We're making it global now.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot to cover, and I know our audience would love to get sort of your expert take on some key topics. So let's jump right in. If you don't mind first, just give us like a 90-second or so overview of who you are, what your firm does, and maybe a little bit of the background on how you got into the business.
Yeah, sure. As you said, my name is Patrick Kempf. I'm 30 years old. I'm a German CPA, German tax advisor. Also got an MBA degree. Started my career within the Big Four. Also spent some time in the US and Asia and joined our medium-sized tax and audit firm in 2018, became partner in 2019, and since the beginning of the year, I'm a majority equity partner here in our firm. We have roughly 60 employees, serve several small and medium-sized companies here in Germany. Our typical client size usually ranges somewhere from 1 to 50 million euros in revenue. Many times also family businesses, and we emphasize on a holistic approach with regards to tax, future succession planning of the companies in a tax optimized manner, and also advise the owners of the companies in their financial and tax aspects.
Very cool, very cool. There's a lot there that I definitely want to unpack, because it sounds like there's some similar and commonalities in what we do. So tell us, let's unpack a little bit more of your ideal client. Tell us a little bit about what that typical client looks like, what the business looks like, maybe what the business owner looks like, and then ultimately what you're helping them to do.
Yeah, well, our typical or ideal client would be somewhere in the range of 1 to 50 million euros in revenue per year, ideally in the service or manufacturing industry with solid balance sheet, steady growth, typically 100% owned by the owner, founder himself, or a family business, so several generations. And we typically support them with all aspects of monthly accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, financial statement preparation, and also preparing business plans and forecasts for the next year, assisting them with financing for new projects together with banks, and also if they tend to acquire any companies, assist them in the financial and tax due diligence world. And on their private side, of course, also take care of their income tax statements and work together with their financial advisors on optimal financial investments for them.
Yeah, good. We work with a lot of CPA firms here in the States, so I love the partnership between the CPA and the financial advisor or planner. I think that's super, super critical to make sort of a holistic approach. So we'll come back to that. But tell us a little bit about what you think sort of makes you unique and what you do to sort of help your clients accomplish those outcomes that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean, our firm has been around for 50 years, has always been mostly family owned. Now I'm the second generation here in the firm. So we also think like entrepreneurs. Yeah, we own our office building here. Yeah, we run the day-to-day operations together with a great team. Yeah, we're in for the long run, not just some hired managers or tax advisors that run our firm, but we have some real skin in the game and sometimes face similar issues like our clients when it gets to financial decisions that we have to make. So we can often really put ourselves in their shoes and understand the challenges that clients might face.
That's such a key point, right? I love that point around we're entrepreneurs too, helping entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
So being able to share in some of the experiences, the challenges, the
Yeah.
opportunities that some of
Yeah.
your clients face, not just as sort of a consultant on the other end of the phone, but someone that's actually living and breathing some of the things that they're dealing with on a
Exactly.
day-to-day basis.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So I love that. I mean, listen, I'll tell you this, Patrick, I've built sort of my entire business model around what you just mentioned, right? Because we have sort of two demographics that we serve at Tailored Wealth. We serve executive level leaders at firms and entrepreneurs. And the reason that we serve those two is I used to be an executive level leader and now I'm
Yeah.
an entrepreneur. So being able
Yes.
to really relate to the clients, I think is so, so critical. And I'm sure you find that probably makes the work a lot more enjoyable as well.
Exactly. It's also easier to sell the services to your clients if they know you're the one who makes the decision at the end. You're in the firm. You're still going to be there in a couple of years, and clients appreciate that.
100%. I totally agree. Can very much relate to that. So well said. All right, let's talk a little bit about the challenges that your clients face. And, you know, I interact with many CPAs here in the United States, but I'm curious to hear maybe some of the challenges that your clients face and how you help them to overcome them.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of challenges many companies here in Germany face is a shortage of labor. Many baby boomers, generations from the late 50s, early 60s, are now retiring, and that's a major challenge for our clients. And yeah, so not necessarily tax related. Luckily, we got that all under control for them, and that works. But on a daily basis, they're confronted with these issues. And we can, of course, to some extent help them, that we digitalize, automate their accounting, take that off their shoulders so that they can focus on their day-to-day operations. But that's one of the key challenges that they face, as well as some disruptions in supply chains that they might have had in the last couple of years. But yeah, the labor shortage is something that we in Germany are now severely facing, and has increased, especially in the last 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, obviously the baby boomer generation retiring hits the entire ecosystem, the entire economy across the globe. So I think that's an important point. What kind of things do you find your clients are doing to sort of overcome that labor shortage?
Yeah, well, on one side, of course, look towards software solutions, applications of AI. Not limit yourself only to the German market, but also to the European or even outside of Europe, European labor markets, to attract relevant talent for their companies. Yeah, so basically these two things, and streamlining their organizations internally, and yeah, making use of their labor capacities as they have it.
Very good. Very good. What would you say are some of the things that are happening in your industry? So let's talk a little bit about the accounting and tax industry. Let's talk a little bit about some challenges, and then maybe where you see the industry going in the next few years. You mentioned AI and software. Let's talk a little bit about that. I want to hear about maybe challenges and where you see opportunities within your field.
Yeah. I mean, for our industry, it's a very solid, very steady industry. There has always been a need for accountants and tax advisors, and that hasn't changed. There hasn't really been any crisis as long as I'm in the industry. And yeah, I see it as the same in the future. Of course, how we work will change. Less manual work, more application of AI, especially in the monthly accounting and the compliance work, so that we can focus more on the consulting business. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the demographics for tax advisors and CPAs in Germany, there's not too many young ones. Of course, there are young ones, but if you look at the percentage, there are many tax advisors also in their early 60s that are about to retire or that will retire in the next few years. Many small practices that have like 5 or 10 employees that probably have not done their homework with regards to digitalization, use of AI in their firms, and yeah, they might be overtaken by the other firms that have done their homework or be acquired and become part of a larger group. So I assume we will see some consolidation in the market. There's already several private equity investors that are getting ready to change the game here in Germany for the tax and accounting business. That's certainly something that you have to be aware of and make sure that you have a solid client base on one hand, but also really be at the forefront of digitalization, automation, simply because you will not find adequate staff in a couple of years to do all this work, especially if you do it all manually, like back like 30 years ago.
Sure. Yep, absolutely. I mean, that's hitting every industry, but I can definitely see in your business with some of like the manual work that needs to be done with tax returns and stuff like that, how AI can really change the game if you're using it the right way and you're training the models, et cetera.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. Let's talk a little bit about how new clients get connected with you. Tell me a little bit about how people find you and maybe what's been your strategy in growing your business over the years.
Yeah, I would say most of our new clients come via recommendations from our existing clients. So word of mouth is our new client business development machine number one.
Right.
Then, of course, also like Google search in our area, we're really well listed on Google, also reach out on LinkedIn, lesser extent on social media so far because there we don't really target our audience, our target clients. It's mostly from existing clients, also sometimes referral from banks or notaries, lawyers. That's usually how we get new clients.
Yeah, great. Let's unpack that a little bit, those referral partnerships, because you mentioned to me earlier, which is obviously near and dear to my heart, you work closely with financial advisors and planners, attorneys, insurance professionals, et cetera. Tell us a little bit about the types of referral partnerships that typically work best for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually banks here in the area, or private banks that serve high net worth individuals. And if we already have existing clients with them or know them from other business transactions, then they're happy to refer to us. Same sometimes for investment banks, where you say, okay, we have clients in your industry. We've seen on your website that you have certain expertise in this industry, and then they would typically reach out to us.
Very cool. Very cool. Well said. All right. Tell us a little bit about your vision for the firm and where you see your firm going in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. We've already implemented the next generation, so to say, on our partner level. One of my partners is currently 57 years old. One of my new partners that is going to join as equity partner later this year is in his early. The same applies on our employee level. Very healthy mix of our employee age structure. So from that point of view, we're all set. Also from our client base. We also have to make sure that we don't only have old clients. We have also very young clients where I know they will be with us easily for the next decade or maybe two. And probably continue the path that we've joined, continue with our expertise, our specialization, and also continuously apply AI and the solutions that make sense in our industry.
Makes sense. Well said. All right, now we're going to shift gears a little bit, Patrick. We're going to let the audience get to know you a little bit better. So this is a fun section that I call the lightning round, and I never tell our guests about it ahead of time because we want it to be super organic and fun. And all we ask is just give us the first response that comes to your mind. It could be a one-word response. It could require explanation, but we just want to get to know you better. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Okay,
I don't drink coffee at all. It's hard to believe, but for a CPA, they usually consume a lot of coffee. I never do. Tea, and if tea, usually green tea.
Okay, all right. So I'm drinking some. I got some green tea going right now myself.
Wonderful.
I'll dabble in coffee, but I'm more of a tea guy myself. All right, so I like it. All right, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. Okay. We talked a little bit about technology. I want you to share with us one tool or piece of technology. So it could be hardware or software, other than your computer or your smartphone, that you can't live without.
Well, it's a difficult one because usually it is the computer and the smartphone, but we also have iPads here in the office. I mean, tablet solutions then maybe, or usually from the iPhone, the AirPods.
AirPods, yeah. You know, it's funny. My last guest said AirPods as well, and I've got I've got my iPad and my AirPods are here somewhere
Yeah.
right now, so I'm with you on that one. All right, sounds good. Do you have a favorite quote about money or success? Quote or phrase?
Yeah, well, maybe sometimes it's true. Money is made by money. Yeah, I mean, compound of interest. That's essential.
What
I
did
mean,
Albert Einstein say is the eighth wonder of the world? Compounded.
exactly,
There you go. All
exactly.
right, I like it. Do you have a favorite book about finance, business, or success?
I don't remember exactly the title, but it's a business negotiation related, and it was
Never Split the
Never
Difference.
Split the
Never
Difference.
Split the Difference. That's a great one, by the way. I love that. Chris Voss.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Voss.
That's a really, really good one. For anybody that hasn't read Never Split the Difference, I highly recommend it. It's a
Exactly.
great for negotiating, but highly entertaining read as well.
Yeah,
So I highly recommend. He's done very, very
that's
well
true.
on the speaking
Yeah,
circuit as well.
exactly.
Do you have a personal, either finance or productivity hack? So a personal hack that you could share with our audience.
Well, activity hack. Yeah, I mean, usually I'm in the office early. Go through my schedule, clear out some emails before the first client meetings. That's usually something that helps me. So I'm ahead of my game before the real business starts. Phone starts ringing, clients coming in. Yeah, that usually helps me. And same again in the evening before I leave. Make sure inbox is cleared, everything is ready for the next day, and that has helped me.
Are you an inbox zero kind of guy, like you get down to zero emails, or you're not that fanatical
Pretty
about it?
much, pretty
Pretty
much.
much. All right. Well, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. And it's nice too, especially repeatable tasks like email. It's nice to have time blocking involved in that. I completely agree with that.
Yeah,
All right.
sometimes definitely, or I mean, many things that don't have to be done by myself personally, at least forwarded so that's off my desk and somebody else can start working on it.
Delegation. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. What's one bucket list item that you've already accomplished? Something that you've checked off your bucket list?
Well, completed a professional degrees, became partner at a
Nice.
relatively young age. So
Nice.
yeah, that was one of my goals, definitely.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that. That's incredible. What's one financial milestone, whether it be personal or business, that you're working towards?
Yeah, financial milestone business-wise was definitely the partnership transition that we accomplished earlier this year, making sure that the new generation is fully on board. We get all our clients transitioned, as well as the support of all of our employees. That was very essential for us.
Good for you. Congratulations on that. Lastly, if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Invest as early as possible, even if you start with small amounts, and start increasing them as soon as possible, as soon as feasible, and let the money work.
Well, you're preaching to the choir on that one. I couldn't have teed that one up any better because obviously I very much agree and relate to that. And, investing early on in your career and in your life, and we goes back to the concept of compounded interest. It can have a real major effect. So,
Yeah.
that's a really good one, and thanks for sharing. And then lastly, Patrick, if our listeners want to connect with you, collaborate with you, potentially work with you, what's the best way for them to reach out or get connected with you?
Yeah, either via LinkedIn if you search for me, Patrick Kempf, or via email p.kempf@bkkp.de. And that's probably easiest. Or go to a website. There's also contact form. Reach out to us, and would be happy to help.
That sounds good. We'll put all that information in the show notes for anybody that wants to reach out to Patrick. Great stuff, Patrick. Thanks so much for joining us today. Appreciate your insights.
You're welcome, Dan. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you bet. That has been it. Another episode of the Making Sense of Your Money podcast. As always, keep your strategy sharp, your goals clear, and your money working as hard as you do. Cheers, everyone.